I have married a clever woman who had studied in the United States and who absolutely insisted to get back to the United States. So we came to the George Washington University. And there, a few years later, at a conference which we had organized, a very famous physicist, Niels Bohr, announced the fact of the fission of uranium. That was in January 1939. My wife Mitzi and I were in good part hosts to the conference, and when everybody had left, we were completely tired out, and the phone rang. My good old friend from Hungary, quite a bit older than I, and much wiser, not according to general opinion, but in fact. Leo Szilard was on the phone. He said to me, tell her, he never used any title, never called me by my first name. We were very good friends. Tell her, he said, I am at the railroad station. I said, fine, where can I pick you up? He told me, Mitzi got mad. We just got rid of all these people. Will you please promise me not to invite him to stay with us? I said, of course I won't invite him. So I went out to the car and Mitzi ran after me, I want to come along. So she came along. She was very tired, but we were young then, you know. So we met Szilard, and as soon as we met him, Szilard says, Mitzi says, Szilard, will you stay with us? So Szilard, of course, said yes. And then we had a smallish house that we rented in Washington. Mitzi showed Szilard into his room. Szilard sat on the bed and he said, I slept in this bed before. It is too hard. Isn't there a hotel in the neighborhood? Mitzi was overjoyed and did not hide it. Szilard went into a hotel. But to come to the truly historic part of the event, Szilard, as soon as he could, said to me, in fact already in the car, do you know what this idea and this fact of uranium fission means? This means an atomic explosion. And he explained it to me. Of course, everybody understands now, so I will not explain what Szilard had explained. I will only say that he has started to prepare me for a difficult career. Because by now, I not only knew that politics will not leave scientists alone, I also found out that scientists won't leave politics alone. Actually, the beginning of my active career was not precisely what most people would expect of such a career. Szilard was a man who knew everything, except he did not know how to drive a car. Furthermore, he was unique in believing that I am a good driver. So I started my career in atomic physics as Szilard's chauffeur, driving him out to the end of Long Island from my summer job at Columbia University to ask Einstein to sign a letter, a famous letter to Roosevelt. Szilard, having planned it very carefully and very cleverly, got Einstein's letter before President Roosevelt's eyes. And Roosevelt acted. Plans were started.
Hogy követi Szilárd minden lépését, tudni tettek. Szilárd mindig a terveken gondol. Szilárd Leo, ezen jelen volt Szilárd Leo is. Szilárd Leo kezdettől, Szilárd Leo a érdemli Szilárd Leót, Szilárd Leónak több könyve. Szilárd Leo a...
És mikor Szilárd találkoztam Szilárd Leóval.
Szilárd Leót például az érdekelte, hogy szavai, tehát Szilárd Leo maga is erre. Na most Szilárdról egy...
Szilárd Leo a legele, tehát Szilárd a kezdetek.
Szilárd Leo nem...
Közölte, hogy Szilárd rosszul használja fel tudományos tekintélyét. És sem én, sem Szilárd.
Szilárd Leo ismét egy. Szilárd Leo ezúttal már mutat Szilárd Leo.
At the first Pagos Conference in 1957, Leo Szilárd took a
Az első Pagos konferencián 1957-ben Szilárd Leo vitavezetőként vett részt. Szilárd Leo ezzel kapcsolatban kifejti. Szerinte ez a megegyezés hosszú folyamat eredménye lesz. Ezért addig is meg kell tanulnunk együtt élni a bombával. Úgyhogy látszólag idealista, ugyanakkor realista volt. Hát igen. Sokan ezeket az elképzeléseit nem tudták elfogadni, de Szilárd Leo ennek ellenére nem adta fel. Tovább folytatta a harcát, és minden erőfeszítést megtett, hogy a totális nukleáris katasztrófa elkerülhetővé váljon.
Dr. Szilárd Leo, magyar biológus.
Szilárd Leo.
Helen Weiss, who is here, Leo Szilard's niece, a UCSD grad school alumna who produced a NOVA program about Szilard in 1992. And I'd like to thank my wife, Joanne, who has supported and encouraged me throughout my 3 decades with Leo Szilard. Now, to the question at hand. Well, how do you pronounce Szilard? In Hungarian, S is SH, as in Budapest. SZ is S, as in Franz Liszt. And I is E. Leo is pronounced Leo, and Szilard, Szilard. But to make things even harder, like the Chinese, the Hungarians, put the family name first. So in Budapest, he is Szilard Leo. However, since German was his family's first language, he sometimes called himself just Leo Szilard or Szilard, close to what I do with his name. He lived 13 years in Germany and another 5 in England. And that changed his pronunciation. He even adopted the English way of beginning a phone call. Hello, Szilard here. The FBI mangled poor Leo's name. Sometimes he was Leo Spitz, his family name until he was 2. Sometimes Szilard. SZ throws a lot of people. And over the years, I've heard Szilard, Zealand, Sizzlard, and even Lizard.
In his concluding statement about the bomb, Bruno quoted a physicist who worked on it, his close friend, Leo Szilard.
I had not been long back from Hiroshima when I heard someone say, in Szilard's presence, that it was the tragedy of scientists that their discoveries were used for destruction. Szilard replied, as he, more than anyone else, had the right to reply, that it was not the tragedy of scientists, it is the tragedy of mankind. I owe it as a scientist to my friend Leo Szilard. I owe it as a human being to the many members of my family who died here, to stand here as a survivor and a witness.
Leo Szilard. Leo Szilard was one of the most remarkable minds of his generation in the 20th century, and a unique personality in physics. He changed the course of history for the United States, and most people do not know very much about him. We're having this session today to help rectify that.
Okay, so you're hearing at this session from three people who knew Leo Szilard. Now, the secret is Bill Lanouette never met him, but he knows him better than anybody else. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to know Leo better as a result of giving this talk. So the Lanouette biography tells it the way it was, incredible though it may seem. And the collected works of Leo Szilard, I met Leo Szilard. Leo Szilard's ingenuity and inventiveness outclassed those of Edward Teller. Leo Szilard was an intensely practical person as well as a visionary. Now, Szilard and his peers, I think that Leo Szilard was happy and cheerful despite his self-assigned mission to reform the world.
Professor Leo Szilard, negative control, that Leo Szilard, while passing through Paris, happened.
And the phone rang. My good old friend from Hungary, quite a bit older than I, and much wiser. Not according to general opinion, but in fact. Leo Szilard was on the phone.